For those of you who seek change in your life, I hope this script can be of some help. Sometimes, we lose sight of our value, being pursued by others' expectations and ideals. However, true happiness doesn't come from comparing oneself with others. True happiness arises from recognizing and loving oneself as we are. This story portrays the journey of a young man struggling with self-acceptance and his path to discovering his inner light, conveying the essence of the Buddha's teachings. Once, there lived a young man named Ashoka in a small village in India. He grew up in a wealthy family with loving friends and family, yet he was constantly troubled by anxiety and a sense of inferiority. He felt he had to be as successful as others and become stronger, suffering from the gap between his ideal self and his reality. One day, during an annual festival in the village, many merchants and villagers gathered, sharing their successes and joys. Though Ashoka wanted to join in, he felt left behind for not having achieved anything noteworthy. So, he distanced himself from the festivities and wandered into the quiet woods beyond the village, sighing deeply. In the stillness of dusk, a gentle voice echoed through the trees, "Have you ever loved yourself?" Startled, Ashoka turned around to see a monk standing there. This monk was a disciple of the Buddha, known for his compassion and wisdom. Ashoka poured out his heart to the monk, "I am a person without value. No matter what I do, I cannot meet others' expectations. And above all, I cannot love myself." The monk smiled kindly and asked, "Are you familiar with the lotus flower?" When Ashoka nodded, the monk continued, "The lotus blooms beautifully from muddy water but never denies the mud from which it grew. Instead, that mud nourishes it, giving it the strength to bloom." Ashoka pondered deeply over these words. The monk continued, "Our hearts also contain emotions and flaws, like mud. Rather than denying them, it's essential to love and accept them as nourishment for our growth." Inspired by these words, Ashoka felt the importance of looking within himself. He sought more guidance from the monk and began to learn how to love himself, bit by bit. The monk then shared a practice with Ashoka: every morning, rise with the sunrise, look to the east, and say in your heart, "Within me, too, the sun rises. I am the light itself." Though initially hesitant, Ashoka felt inspired by the monk's gaze, filled with conviction, and decided to follow the practice. For the first few days, Ashoka felt as though he was deceiving himself. But as he continued for a week, then too, he began to feel a subtle change within him. One morning, while looking east and reciting the words, he felt a warm sensation spread through his chest. It was as if a light was beginning to radiate from within him. From this moment on, his life slowly began to transform. Ashoka helped with his family's business, gradually learning to acknowledge his efforts. When he succeeded, he praised himself; when he failed, he thought positively, saying, "Next time, I'll do better." Unlike his past self, he was beginning to understand the importance of loving all parts of himself, including his flaws. One day, Ashoka had a significant business opportunity in the marketplace. Where he would have previously been overtaken by nerves, the words "within me, too, the sun rises" gave him the courage to confidently face his business partner. The deal was a success, and his confidence in himself grew even stronger. Ashoka's transformation began to influence those around him as well. His childhood friend Kabir was moved by Ashoka's changes and decided to go on his own journey of self-discovery. Together, they encouraged each other as they sought to find their own inner light. In this way, Ashoka developed the ability to see the light within others as well. He began gathering the villagers for meditation and discussion, sharing their inner light with one another. To the younger villagers especially, who struggled with self-doubt, he would say, "There is a beautiful light within you as well." One day, a young man named Sanji came to Ashoka. Like Ashoka, he too struggled with self-doubt and suffered in daily life. Ashoka gently told him, "I once felt as you do. But I realized that each of us carries a light within. Let's begin by trusting in that." Gradually, Sanji practiced Ashoka's teachings and came to recognize the light within him. He used his gift for painting to bring hope and joy to the village children, and his impact began to spread throughout the village. Then, disaster struck the village, and many villagers lost their homes and livelihoods. However, Ashoka and Sanji worked together with the other young villagers to overcome the hardship, creating new trade routes and supporting each other through the village's reconstruction efforts. During this difficult time, Ashoka deepened his understanding of self-love and compassion. He strengthened his bonds with his father, valuing the time they had together. In the end, even Ashoka's father was moved by his son's growth. As Ashoka grew older, he began hosting gatherings of light, where people from neighboring villages would come together. His teachings were simple yet profound: each of us carries a light within. By believing in and loving it, life will change. I hope this story can serve as a reminder for you as well, that life can become richer by embracing self-love. Believe that the light within you will continue to shine brightly from this day forward. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Let's continue to pursue a better life through the wisdom of the Buddha.